San Diego leaders have been talking about fixing the city's structural deficit for a long time. In Mayor Sanders' State of the City speech in January, he set a deadline to solve the problem.
We must be a city with a single agenda, to live within our means, honestly, without expecting somebody else to pick up the tab. Before that 18 months is over, I will have come back to you with a plan to resolve the city's structural deficit. That's what the taxpayers want me to do, and I'll do it.
Okay, so it's been about 7 months since he made that promise. He has 11 months to make good on that promise, according to his speech when he gave it himself in January. Do you think he'll be able to fulfill his pledge?
Not at this rate. No, I don't think it's possible. The only hope to bridge the gap. Look, the city is, and I say this, I'm a broken record on this, but the city is not set up to take in as much money as it's set up to spend. The gap, he says, is about 75 million. A bunch of others say that it's much higher than that. And as the pension liabilities for paying people who retire from the city grow, we're looking at several $100 million perhaps. The only way that you can do that is through a comprehensive reform, one that would cut and tweak the pensions and benefits that employees have, that would potentially outsource services, and then on the other side, sincerely consider revenue. This was, as we saw this week, there were efforts to come about perhaps something like this, but either they weren't comprehensive enough or the people who make decisions simply weren't on board.
So you're saying that that sales tax increase would have fit into some kind of a structural deficit approach?
In my fantasy, it would. I don't know whether they were actually, to what extent they were actually considering this. For example, some people say the only things that were on the table was a sales tax on one side, and then on the other side, some kind of deal to outsource some city services, including the Miramar landfill. The question comes down to, would it have been broad enough to attract, the reason a comprehensive package is attractive is because it has elements that everyone doesn't like and elements that everyone does like. And so things are more attractive when the other side has to give up something as well.
So where did the roadblock actually come from? I mean, the mayor's office danced out this idea and then the mayor backed off from it. Where's the roadblock?
Well, first of all, the mayor's office never was proud of it. It never talked about it. It never made the case for it. It just simply let it come out and was able to, not deny it. I don't know that shows a lot of confidence in the idea. But on the other hand, the mayor said that key people who would have been required to have this go forward were not there for him to make it go forward. And so who are those key people? Probably the city council. And the city council is influenced largely by labor groups. Why didn't labor groups push them into making this happen, I think is a question that we all need to ask.
So you think that that it came from labor and not from business?
Well, labor claims that they were at the table, and this is the problem with doing all this stuff behind closed doors, because all we hear is what everybody says. No, I didn't say that. I said this. I didn't say that. I said this. Well, why don't we have this discussion outward, where people are making the case for their revenue or making the case for their reform, and everybody can horse trade in public, and we can see if we can recover. Because if we don't, then the bankruptcy court is going to come in and say, you guys better do this, as if they're our moms and dads.
Scott Lewis, thank you so much.
Thank you.